All right. Should we spank our children? My journey of learning not to spank, aka also say hit my child, my children, and what the creative universal power, aka the most high, aka God, aka Allah, aka the creator, aka whatever you want to call it. Call that him, her. It's up to you. Uh so I just want to share this because it's been on my heart. And we had an event. I was going to do an event for it for the Angelic Expressive Connections LLC, renewing ascension in warriors and women, disciplining children, and have a fee for it. But then I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to share my journey. And then if you're interested in services or in booking us or booking me to speak or for an event, then you can pay that way. But for this, I just want to share. So the topic is spanking. Quick background. I am a preacher's daughter. My father is a Pentecostal preacher, right? So I grew up with a Christian background. I'm about to pause this right quick because I heard something and make sure my door is locked. All right, I'm back. It's locked. I'm good. Plus, I got my arm, so I'm great. I wonder how this is gonna look with the pause. This is my first time using it, right? So, spanking. So the Bible verse that was used, and I've been taught, and I've heard Christians growing up, even older now, um, came to was the one about that rod, right? But I got to a point where I didn't want to spank my children anymore because there were a few times where I got too emotional and it went more from correcting my children to me releasing my feelings out on them. And that's not okay. And I didn't know that at the time because that's what was done to me. That's what I grew up around. You know, there was that I wasn't taught like there was a line or a balance between, hey, use this for correcting versus letting your feelings out on your child, you know. So when I had moments like that, it was very scary for me. And I didn't want to continue that and put that and do more damage than I didn't know that was damaging and do first of all, I didn't know damage like spanking would damage like that um in a way because I know how much it did to me. But like actually feeling it and doing it and expressing it and being in that experience is really different, versus just so it's okay, whatever. Um So I was like, God, I need your help to first help me to control myself, control my feelings, deal with whatever I'm feeling, and also to help me not to use spanking as a consequence because I don't want to lose control again. And most importantly, I don't want to hit a child because that boils down to it hitting a child. And on a question that it brought back to me, and that, my mom, she's talked about as well, is that hitting children, came from slavery. I've looked up different cultures, especially back in the day of how they would discipline children. And it's very different, around the world. But when it comes like to the United States, that's slavery, to hit children, to use hitting and whips and belts and rods and sticks and all that. Spoons for children to discipline, to punish, to correct, to force, to get them to obey you and do what you want them to do. And I didn't want to be that parent anymore that used that or did that. Screw parent. I didn't want to be that human being anymore. Okay. So this is the journey of what the Most High took with me about when I decided not to spank my children, hit them anymore, and ask the question, is it wrong for grown-ups to hit children? And then other time people say, yeah, it is. But when it comes to correcting, you better get that, you know? So here's that verse. I'll be sharing my screen. That is very common. It's from Proverbs chapter 13, verses 24. If you got a Bible, go ahead and get it. If not, then you can follow along with me. I like to use Blue Letter Bible. You can use a Strong's Concordance to look up and search for the meaning of these phrases and these words that are being used, know what they really mean. Because I was looking through the Bible when I was doing this, I was like, there is no verse in the Bible from Moses, from Abraham, from Jacob, Mary, Rebecca, Sarah, like nobody is hitting their children with the rod. Nobody is. And I'm like, why is it saying don't spare the rod? So he that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chastiseth him betimes or betimes. But I'm like, why is it there's nobody in the Bible using a rod on their child if you're not supposed to spare it from them? If you're supposed to use it to not show that you don't hate them. So I'm going to correct you with this rod. Where is the rod? And if you happen to find a verse where a parent or grown up in the Bible, besides when they was in slavery from Pharaoh, is getting hit with rods, let me know. Post in the comments. Send me a message. Let me know so I can read it, and I'll correct myself. But I'll update what I say. But besides that, I've never seen a verse in the Bible where a parent is hitting their child with a rod, with a tool, with a weapon, with an object to correct them, to discipline them, with the understanding that you may have of it, to punish them, etc. All right. So Proverbs 13:24. Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 24. He that spareth his rod, when I even think about that, his rod, that doesn't even sound right to me. And now that I'm saying that, hateth his son, but he that loveth him chastiseth him betimes or betimes, however you want to say that. So he that spareth his rod. So click on rod. He is from the Hebrew root Hebrew. And this is different on the computer. I'm going to do this from my phone. Rod, staff, branch off. Okay. From an unused root, probably meaning to branch off a scone, literally a stick for punishing, riding, fighting, really walking, etc. Or figuratively a clan, correction, dart, rod, separate staff, tribe. What I got from my phone, Hebrew 7626. Literally a stick for punishing as the same thing. So where in the Bible are there people hitting children with sticks for correction? When I always say Jesus, when Jesus went off to the temple and his mom didn't know where he was at, and she was like, "Where were you?" She's like, "Don't you know be about my father's business?" She didn't hit him with a stick. Okay, you shouldn't have done that. When Joseph's brothers sold him and they came back to their dad, there's nothing about, their father beating them with rods and sticks to punish them for doing that, or for we didn't know, but for not coming back home with the brother. Like there's nothing there. There's nothing there. And I thought of that saying, it takes a village, have a village of people around you to correct you, teach you, your child, and discipline them without hitting them with the stick. I remember if you get in trouble, anybody has a right to hit you, to pop you in your mouth, or to smack you up in your head. Anybody. It was a church, it was a nanny, it was a grandma, it was an elder. It didn't matter. You was acting up, bam, ah, you know? And I get that. And I feel like we should still have a village, just have people looking out for each other and looking out for children no matter what, but to be able to correct them in ways that doesn't involve physical actions like that. It's okay. It can happen. It can be a thing. One says the word bet times or be times, however you pronounce that, from that verse. Like be at times. Hebrews 7:8-6. It means seek early, diligently seek, bet times. So we're supposed to be correcting our children early. So if I say the rod and I take it literally, or they use the belt, then that said we should be beating our child early age, from early on, like lay that foundation. I remember when my son was younger, like maybe one or two, and we hit his hand for something that he did. He didn't do it again, but the way he looked and what I felt, I'm like, wait a minute, why am I hitting my child's hand even at two? Because I remember that as well, getting hit in the hand, getting thumped. That's what you do. Don't do that, you know? Um, but the scars and the mental damage that it does is a lifetime. And you can't take those things back. You can't take back how your child looks at you. You can't take back how that hit changes in the way they develop and how they look at you and talk to you. And if you keep building on and building onto it, you can't change those. You can't take it back. Ugh, right? So don't figuratively be up early at any task. So be up early at any task. So we should be sparing, not sparing the wrong. We should be correcting, disciplining. Um, if we go exactly by this early in the new day. So I started asking myself, okay, is it okay to hit my child with a stick? Was it okay during slavery? Where is there a child being beaten in the Bible with a rod to punish or correct them? Like I said, I've yet to find one. I've yet to read one. And the old, new Torah, in the old one, new one, or in the books taken out. I've yet to see it. There is none. But what the Most High did show me that if the parent should correct, they're going to correct with love, correct with raise, you correct with praise, and correct with how you would treat another child. Like I know some people say, I will beat the other person. If that was my child, I'll beat their butt. Maybe that's not how you do it. You know, sometimes I examine myself and how one child, it wasn't my child, how they did something, if they did something, how I would talk to them versus my children. And sometimes I'll admit that I would speak kinder and be more patient and more understanding with somebody else's child than my own, because that's what I was shown. That's what I grew up with. And I've asked myself, like, Angelica, why do you do that? Where is that coming from? Well, you know where it's coming from. You got to stop that. And it's about deprogramming and reprogramming, and it takes work. I still do it. It's also about stepping out of my shoes as their mom and thinking that I own them, thinking that they owe me something, and just seeing them as a human being, remembering that perfect parenting secret number one. I'm only human, so is my child. I remember to treat them, my child, as another human being, because that is who and what they are. And that's with love, protect, and respect, and in truth. So I'm thinking, all right, so how is it that I should treat my children? How is it that I should correct them if it's not to the point when I don't want to hit them anymore? And there are many ways as I started finding out, I was like, when I go back, I had a conversation with them. I was like, y'all, some years ago, I was like, hey, I apologize for how I've been training you, how I've been raising y'all, using the belt, spanking y'all. I don't want to do it anymore. So I'm going to go through a journey. I cursed myself by saying this next part. I was like, I'm going to do my best not to hit you, but if I do, uh, I'm sorry. It's not your fault. It's mine. Know that first and foremost. I taught my children that if I do something, it's not their fault. It's mine. They were like, don't make me do this. You better get this down. They're going to make me. No, we ain't doing none of that. I was like, if I'm yelling and screaming, it's not you, it's me. And I said, this may be hard. I may go back and forth. That's how I cursed myself when I said that. I was like, I want to change. It's a journey. It's going to be hard. I may go back and forth, but ultimately my goal is to stop speaking y'all, period. I shouldn't have said that because I put in my brain and put on the journey that I will go back and forth versus I will continue on one path only. So it's very important to think before you speak and only speak out what you want to speak. Only speak what you want to happen, and don't put challenges that don't put challenges upon yourself. Like don't speak that on yourself that you're going to do to yourself because life or the people, nope, don't do that. Just don't do that. Right? Don't do what I did. So I told them, I was like, hey, I'm gonna do my best not to spank y'all, but if I don't have another way and y'all do something, I gotta find some way to correct y'all. And right now, all I know is to spank you. So that's what I'll do, but I will continue to talk to the Most High. I will also talk to y'all. I will observe, to find and utilize better and different ways to give y'all correction, to give y'all discipline, to give you consequences for what you do. So different ways we're standing in the corner, taking away their toys, taking away something that they love, that they taking away something that I knew that they would have a reaction and response to. I know that sounds bad, but that's what I would do. And some things worked and some things didn't. And as my children got older, some things would work, some things didn't. I would ask their advice, like, what do you think would be a good consequence for you? Sometimes that worked, sometimes their advice worked, sometimes it didn't. But it was like a continuous journey of learning and growing and communicating and evolving with me, with my relationship, with my partnership with the Most High, and with my children. But to not quit, to not give up on it. Because as soon as I would quit or give up, then that's when everything would be for naught. That's when the growing stops. And I always want to keep growing and keep growing and keep getting better. Um, so I was like, okay, how is it? Um, so I was like, okay, guys, so what do I do? Like, so the Most High started giving me verses to go to. First one was like Proverbs 22, verse 6, right? Proverbs 22, verse 6. Proverbs 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is done, he will not depart from it. Well, I was working on that because according to other people, I have departed from the ways that I was trained up when it comes to religion and faith and thinking and disciplining. So I had to look for a basic foundation that I agreed with from what my parents did, from what the Most High is showing me, and to who I want to be and what I want my children to take with them. And that is the foundation of the 13 principles of universal law. Three main ones, or four: love, protect, respect, and truth, and freedom. Whatever I say, whatever I say, think, thank you for my life back. Whatever I say, think, or do, how I feel and act in that feeling, make movements in that feeling, has to make sure it stands on loving, protective, being respectful. It's in truth and it's in freedom of myself, the Most High, and also my children as well. All right. And then there's Isaiah 54:13. And all thy children shall be taught of the Lord, and great shall be the peace of thy children. Shall be taught of the Lord, and shall be the peace of thy children. So I had to get a I had to refocus on again in order to teach my children about the Lord, about the good God, about the creative universal power, who and what he is, who is the creator, why is the creator so important to know and to recognize and to have in our lives. And I was going through conflicting times at that because the creative universal power was moving me and showing me more that I didn't learn in Christianity, that I'm not learning in the Bible, and seeing more of it. And once again, the same thing with that. I can have a steady foundation to teach my children about the creator, who the creator is, the creator means to them, themselves, how to connect with them without trying to force them and put it in a box and direct them on how you can only talk to the creator this way, you can only reach out this way and pray this way. Like, Your creator only does this, only moves and works in this way. Like, I wasn't trying to give them a manual on how they should have a partnership with the creator like I was given. I didn't want to put that, I didn't want to put the creator in the box. So when they get to their 30s, they'll be like where I'm at in a way that's not helpful to them. And that where there's more pain and sadness versus just confidence and boldness and elevation and success. So I was like, okay. So I start thinking about um all the other verses of what they should do. I'm not there's verse Proverbs chapter 1, 8 through 9 about hearing your father's instruction and your mother's teaching. There is Psalms 127, verse 3. Children are a gift from the Lord, they are a reward from him. If I get a gift and a reward and I start beating it, throwing it, tearing it down, leaving it on the ground, like is that me being thankful and grateful for my reward? Like if you earn something in a reward, do you treat it like crap or do you treat it good? Hopefully you treat it good. Like if you bought your child new coats and new shoes, like you better go hang that up. You're gonna put that away correctly. You better treat it right. So why not think and do and feel the same way about a child? And that verse got like that's one of the verses that got to me. Like the way the way I thought about my children had to be reprogrammed. Instead of seeing them as just a burden or a responsibility that I'm supposed to take care of, I saw them begin to see them as who they really are and what they really are. They are gifts from the Most High. They are my healers. God has used them. My God, I don't use that term anymore. The Most High has used them to help save me, to help change me, to help me be better. And that alone is a motivation for me to treat them with love, protection, and respect for what they have done in my life and what they have brought to me. Right? And then there's Proverbs 17:6. There's one Matthew chapter 19, verse 14, where it says, Jesus said, let children come to him. The kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. Do you really want to beat somebody that the kingdom of heaven belongs to? Like if you are mean to somebody, it's gonna come right back around to you, especially if you're mean to God's anointed. Like, hey, don't touch my anointed. I'm blessed and highly favored. If you're gonna do this to me, then guess what's gonna come back to you? Because I'm blessed by God, I'm highly favored. Da, 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 da. Look what Jesus said about children. He said, the kingdom of God belongs to children. So imagine what's going to happen if you think about it out that if you do that to a child to where the kingdom of heaven belongs from the Savior, how do you think that's going to come back around to you? Like it's just different ways I was thinking about this and helping to see how to treat my children, to reprogram about how to be a mother to my children better and differently than what was done to me, than what I was doing, than what I grew up around. And yeah, so it was a lot going on. Um, There is Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 29. Parents' hearts fear God, so it will go well with them and their children. That's something that's on the parents as well to get their own stuff right, get right with the Most High. And then there's number 8, fathers do Ephesians chapter 6, verses 4, which is not taught a lot. Fathers, don't provoke your child to anger by way and how you treat them. Like how many times I've thought and said things that provoke my child to anger when I know I could like, hey, let's take a break, let's move on. But I want it done now. Do this now. Like I don't care how you feeling. I don't care what you're thinking. I say do it now. And it just makes you more and more angry. Like if you're feeling angry and somebody tells you to do something, do you really want to do it? No. And it's just these common sense things that that was just the Most High was reminding me of, like Angelica, just bringing it all together. And I'm like, wow, 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 wow. All right. And then it says, greatest in the kingdom of heaven, turn and become like children. You will never enter. So Jesus, Matthew chapter 18, verse 1 through 3. Then there's commandments that, the Most High gave to teach and tell your children. Deuteronomy, Deuteronomy, whatever that word is, chapter 6, verses 6 through 7. Um, Now it says, children, obey your parents and honor your father and honor your father and mother. And even that can sometimes be misconstrued, as my mom likes to say. That's her favorite word. Misconstrued. If if the way that you want your child to honor you is not really honor in a way, or if that child gets older, they see honor as something differently than what you said because they've learned and grown and are healed and see things differently. So, what does it mean to honor your parent? What does it mean to honor your parents? What does that look like as you grow and get older? How do you teach your child to honor you as you get older? You know? Um, where is it? Oh, Ephesians chapter 6. Let's look up that word honor. Like, I need to spell that right. Ephesians 6. My bad. Ephesians. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise. And then your children to obey you. What directions are you giving your child to obey you? And you think that, oh, it's nothing hard, it's not going to kill you or whatever, but that's you though. How do you know what you're giving to your child is having a different effect than it would on you? Like, I remember going on Facebook and somebody posted something and just watching the reaction of comments of different people of different ages expressing how people are saying you shouldn't hit your children, shouldn't discipline them that way. And people are like, oh, my mom did that to me. It's all right. Look at me now. And some of the people have issues, but they don't think they have issues. They think they're okay. And they're okay because they got hit. But I know that when me and my husband have talked about it, and I'm like, are you really think that you're okay? Like how you are? Like, I know I'm not okay. I can admit that the way I was corrected sometimes, like it didn't help me. There are things that I was not okay about. And again, the way that I was disciplined did not help, didn't make it better. And I think that itself is a delusion or an illusion that you're okay if you think that you got spank and hit, and when you may not really be. I think really saying it's okay to hit a child because you got hit, to just even say that is not okay. It is a delusion. It is a mask. It is a veil that needs to be lifted off because a child should never be hit. Never. If it wasn't okay for slave masters to do it, then it's not okay for you to do it. And it's not. Um, Honor, value, to estimate, fixed value for the value of something belonging to oneself. So, um, I've had that too. I brought you in this world. I can take care of it. You better obey me. Do what I do because I brought you in this world. I feed you. I clothe you. I do all this. You better do what I say because of it. And I don't do that because I made the choice to keep my child. And I knew what that meant. If I didn't want to take care of my child, clothe them, feed them, shelter them, I would have gave them away with adoption or get an abortion, which I actually did think about getting an abortion with my son, my first son, because I thought time. Alan might want to be with me, whatever, whatever. But then I remembered all my mom and my sisters who were single moms doing their thing, and that brought me more confidence. But hey, I can raise my son as a single mom if I keep my baby. But that on itself is holding that over your child's head, using that as a forceful, manipulative tool to get your child to obey you when you made the choice to keep your child and everything that comes along with it. Yes, children should be thankful and grateful and be respectful to you as their mom and dad and what they're getting, but to hold it against their heads and over their heads like that and the way that it's used in that context, like you said, in the context, to me, that that's not cool. That's not okay. We're gonna cut that out. To me, that no, you need to own up, use yourself, your supernatural power of self accountability and account for who you are, and use your power of self responsibility and how you're responding first. And that's one of the things I'm very proud of myself that I don't do. I think I may try to do it once, but didn't feel like I was like, nope, come back. Let me bring it in. I chose to keep my children. I'm not going to use that. Let me breathe for a moment before I say something. Right? Um, so to use that to hang over your child's head, like, and then how they use that too in the future, like how that, what's their mind? It's and how they start feeling about children, how you start feeling about your child. Like that stuff gets passed on. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to have that. Discipline your children and they will give you what's this one? All right, so children obey your parents and honor your father and mother. With that, I was like, creating universal power. How do I do that? And in doing so, I also brought me through some healing and confrontations and some changes with how I with my own connection and ties to my mom and dad as a grown woman that I really needed to work on and fix and change and do differently because I didn't want the type of what's going on with my mom and dad to happen with me and my husband. So something to think about too. All right, Proverbs 29, verse 11. That's not it. Oh, 17. Correct. So this is correct. The verse of the Bible has a discipline. Correct thy son, and he shall give thee rest. Yea, he shall give delight unto thy soul. Whose child ever felt delighted and happy after being corrected or disciplined? And others like, oh, I'm okay. Oh, that's fine. Go ahead. Oh, I didn't want it anyways. Like there's that. But is that really the same as thank you so much, mom and dad? I delight. It was awesome. I deserve that. I get it. Let's do that again. You know, who, what child was delighted and happy and joyous after they got corrected? I mean, who corrected their child so correctly? You know, right? Who did it so right that the child thanked the parent for correcting them. I know my children have come back to me later, like, hey, mom, thank you for telling me to go lay down. And thank you for telling me to do this because I was feeling angry. And they come back and say, sorry, afterwards. Oh, maybe that's what they mean by delight. Let's click on it. What does delight mean? All right. So I was looking for the word correct. What does correct mean in this sense? Correct. To chasten, discipline, instruct. Here it is. A primitive root to chasten, literally with blows. So if you want to go by that, literally with blows, if you want to be literal about it, you can say, oh, there it is, but it's not the rod part though. That's the first one looking this up. To discipline, correct. To chasten, to chastise, literally with blows. Or figuratively with words, hence to instruct. Bind, chasten, chastise, correct, instruct, punish, reform, reprove, soar, teach. Man, that's why sometimes reading the Bible, I get so, I feel so mad. I feel so sad. So if you really want to come to blows with your children, should you expect your children to just take it? Should you just expect your child to beat you, but you teach them don't let nobody put their hands on you, but if it's your mom and dad, it's okay. All right, etymology, discipline. Discipline's a noun, person, place, or things. 1200 century. Intentional chastisement, punishment for the sake of correction. Discipline, physical punishment, teaching, suffering, martyrdom. Right? Oh, they're back. Done as a penance. That's ridiculous. Don't receive kingdom of God like a child won't enter. Mark chapter 10, verses 15 through 16. That's what Jesus said. Fathers, do not embitter your children or they will become, was that? Disagree? Religions chapter 3, verse 21. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 6. Children's children are the crown of old men, and they go along, and the glory of the children and their fathers. Keeps going on. I'm going to pause this right quick so I can move to my room. Okay. Right. So I'm like, okay, there's all these verses, and it feels like, oh, it's conflicting. Like, no, the Bible doesn't conflict itself. You just need to teach, studying more, and getting the word more, and praying more, da, 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 find somebody who's better at it than you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, I agree. I do need to pray more and seek the Most High more to show and help me to do what's right for me and my family. Because, no, the two greatest commandments is one, love your creator. Two, love your brother and neighbor, love your brother as yourself, you know? And that also includes our children. So, as I was doing further study, there's Proverbs 29:15, the rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself brings shame to his mother. Hi, baby. Grandchildren are the crown of the age, and the glory of the children is their fathers. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 6. A woman's sorrow goes away after birth. That makes sense. John 16:21. Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord, the fruit of the womb, a reward. Yes, honey. No, not right now, honey. Thank you. That's Psalm 127, verses 3 through 5. So looking up these verses and reading them and then looking up the meaning of these words, like the word reproof from Hebrew H8433 from H3198, to be right, correct. Chastisement, fig, figuratively by words, correct, correction. And all goes back to the same. Is it proper? Is it right? Is it good for me to hit my child as I would an adult? Is it all right to hit a child? Is it right for a grown adult to hit a child? If you don't like enduring safely, if you think it's an abuse, if somebody does it, then why would you think it's okay at any age to do it? It's just so I do respect. Is it proper for me to hit my child with a stick to correct them? Better yet, is it needed? And that's the point that said no, they were not needed. It is not needed. Right. And then I was like, okay, so to help reprogram me, I was like, Most High, show me what it is about children that is the awesomeness. And that's the verses he gave about children being their glory, being a crown. And how would you want to treat somebody who with the glory or the crown or who receive the kingdom of heaven? Like, how would you treat somebody like that? For real, even if you're feeling sad or angry. Thank you for my life. Sad or angry about that person or what they're doing. And I see so many people making fun of what's called conscience parenting or gentle parenting or whatever, and so many different parenting styles. I actually looked up the meaning of parenting styles, and that definition alone, I was like, what? Why? A parenting style is a collection of attitudes, behaviors, and practices that parents use when interacting with their children. That's not what I first read when I looked that up. There was something else. But there are different parenting styles. The definition I had was bad. That was not it. That's okay. And we are all different people. We all grew up differently. We all have different goals and dreams. We all heal differently. We all have different mindsets. So one way of parenting may work for you, but it's not going to work for this other mom or dad. One way of parenting may work for your child, but it's not going to work for somebody else's child because they're not the same people. They didn't go through the same things. They have different mental and feeling capacity and processing than you. So I had to really think about how to correct my children based on who they are instead of as a collective. I remember there were times I get in trouble and my mom was like, line up, bare butts showed one by one. Like this butt, back again, back again. Like the same type of discipline does not work. Correction does not work. Or you think if you spank one child and have everybody watch, they'll learn their lesson. Remember that? And I suggested that one day to Alan, and he was like, "No, we're not doing that." I was like, "Oh, okay." It didn't. He's like, "We're not going to do that," because I remember that. I remember watching my sisters getting spanked as to make sure that I don't do it. So all this I was going through and processing and deprogramming, reprogramming, learning and unlearning to find the correct way to correct my children. And it's been a journey. It's to this. It's been a journey, and it still is. And it first starts with me. It first starts with me knowing and accepting that I'm a perfect parent, that I have it within me and my own partnership with the Most High to know the best way to correct my child, to help them learn the lesson without hitting them, without yelling at them, without threatening them. And then it also comes down to knowing who my child is and the best way that they learn, their learning style. How many of you know what your child's best learning style is? Look that up. Look up learning styles. Then watch and observe your child and see if how they even describe learning style is the same as what your child does, because that changes too depending on what your child is learning or what they're trying to accomplish or what you want to do. So in order to truly, that I've learned, for me to truly correct my children the best way, I've got to know myself and I've got to know them and not to listen, not listen, not to follow, because listening and following are two different things, because I hear and listen are synonyms, means the same, but not to follow what other people tell me because they seem to have the know-it-all, have the most experience than me. That's something that's messed me up. That's something that I allowed. Oh, my eyes itch. Something that I allowed me to start spanking my son at an early age because I felt like I wasn't correcting him right because of what another mom said. And hi, thank you. And I wish I never did it. But looking back, I see the lesson in it. I see the growth I had to do and the journey to who I am now. Um, there's a lot of verses. So if you are a mom or a dad or a grandparent, or just a teacher or a man or woman who want to help was having different thoughts about how to correct a child. If you're a teacher, there are other ways. The answers on how to do it is within you. It starts within you. Seek the creative universal power, seek the most high, seek the creator from within first, and then look to that child to know what the best way is. And then stay strong and bold and confident on it. Don't let nobody else dictate, distract you, make you feel bad or shameful, or make you feel like you're wrong. Not make you, don't allow yourself to feel that way or to think that about yourself. Trust what's given to you. Trust your journey, trust your process, and trust the most high in that child too. All right. My eyes really itch. I don't know why. I need to go do something with my eyes. I didn't wash my face. Thank you. She said, wash your face. And that was my eldest daughter. She turned 11 recently, the 21st. That's my baby girl. And I promise the Most High used her while in the womb to help me be more confident because she's such a confident young lady. And I'm so proud of her for that. And I'm so thankful that I was able to bear and give birth and to be chosen to have a confident daughter because at the time I wasn't being as confident as I should have been. And I felt like her confidence just shone out through my womb. Was that strong? I don't know how much time I'm at, but that's it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Um, kind of just sharing my notes. Um, oh, here's one. Colossians chapter 3, verse 21. Fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. So we should not do. The biblical definition of provoke means to stimulate, like instigating. Discourage means a negative particle of G2372, which means to be spiritless, disheartened, dismayed. So as parents, we're not supposed to take our spirit from our children. You know, we're not supposed to stimulate and be instigators. Ah, it's just Proverbs 17, chapter 6. Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children are their fathers. Crown from H 5849, meaning to encircle, and the glory, ornament, beauty, honor. This is what children are. Children are beauty, glory, and honor. Thank you for my life. Very rarely I say unto you, whosoever shall not receive the kingdom of God as a little child, he shall not enter wherein. That's how we should be. That was Mark chapter 10, verse 15. So the outcome of right parenting is what you want to achieve and have for your child. What is the outcome that you want to receive? Think about your connection, your relationship with your mom and your dad, your brothers and sisters, and so forth. And think of the friends that you had and their relationship with their parents. And then compare that with who you are, what you're doing in your child now, and then what you want in the future. And then start from there. Continue from there. Don't allow nobody to dictate how you parent a child and how you correct them. Because by the end of the day, you're the one going home with your child. By the end of the day, it is your tie, it's your relationship with your child that gets that is being affected. That person's going to share their advice, their 2 cents. They're going to go home to whatever their life is. But you're the one who's got to go home with your child. You're the one who has so many years left with your child. And it's so yeah, this topic that is near and dear to my heart, and that I love helping moms and dad and parents to know that's okay to change. It's okay to be different. It's okay to move away. It's okay to take out what was good, what you did like about what your parents or grandparents, so forth, may do, but then also combine it with something new and different that you want to do or that you saw to do what's best for your child, you and your family. All right. So that's it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Um, if you're interested in hearing or learning more from me directly as a speaker or for an event, you can contact and booking through Angelica Expressive Connections LLC. I'll put it in the description box if you want like a one-on-one with me, to listen or to help you apply my perfect parenting secrets to you or any of my 5 stages of ascension to you in your life. Go ahead and book a one-on-one personal ascension conversation with me as well, and I'll be glad to assist you. So remember to always walk in your purpose to fulfill and complete your life's missions with the gifts, the talents, and the powers that you are born with. Yes. And always remember there is peace, direction, guidance, love, protect, respect. Oh my goodness. And a partnership with the Most High in you. And until next time, continue to put in that work. Here we go. Mm, here we go. Mm. Put that mind work in, get your thoughts right. Put that heart work in, get your feelings right. Put the spirit work in, get your energy right. You want that life that you see in your dreams. You want that life that you wrote in your goals because you've been visualizing. It's manifestation time, so get that butt in gear and get your body up. You've got work to do. Ain't no time to snooze. Are you really ready to lose? Not me. No way. And Mother Universe ain't done with you. You, are you? So what you gonna do? Put in that work. Hey, put in that work. Uh, put in that work. Come on. I'm getting to work. Hey, go to work. Till next time.